Namco Soccer Prime Goal is an arcade-style soccer game that was released for the PlayStation in 1996 and is part of a series of J.League soccer games that would have seen life in the arcades in the early 90s, with this version being later ported to consoles during the mid-90s, and offers up a very unique and different style of gameplay. From a visual standpoint, it very much reminds you of the earlier FIFA games that would have been seen in the early 90s before it went all into 3D in 1997. It has a very similar play style and feel, but it has some really nice graphics and 2D visuals that really set the game apart from many other games that were seen at the time. It has just some very fun and quirky elements that helps it to really stand out, as it does focus very on arcade aesthetics, but it just has a unique feel to it that really suits the style of the game, and it has a load of cool different features, modes and various attributes that also add to the playability of the game. You have your typical modes like multiplayer, and you can play in different tournaments and exhibition matches and so forth, but you also have some cool features like when you're playing, you can play with different aesthetics on the teams and you can string passes together, and it is very easy to pick up and play compared to many other soccer games that are out there. But it has one unique feature as well, that at different points randomly throughout play you will be given the option where you will have to go one-on-one against an opponent on the pitch. Either the computer AI is against you or you're against them, and you have to time a button press or directional press on the D-pad, and you can shimmy or use some tricks to dribble the ball around the player so that you can get around them and take advantage of them to throw them off. So it will give you some leverage to gain some sort of a distance away from the opposing player, which is a pretty cool concept, and it was very cool to see it back then. And in all respects to the game, it is very reflective of its time. Like, it is an arcade style game at its heart, and it just has the look and feel, and the whole vibe about the game is definitely more arcadey than anything else. But I think that's what really helps it to stand out. Like, having spent time playing it, I genuinely think that this is a cool little game. It's very different from your more mainstream soccer games. Like I said, it plays very like the earlier FIFA games, but it also plays very like the earlier 2D style of international superstar soccer games also. It just has a really good dynamic about it, and from what I have learned online by researching and even through comments and from people messaging looking for videos of this game, clearly the game has a very unique following, and there are a lot of fans of this type of game on the PlayStation, so it was worthwhile checking it out. I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised by the game itself. It is a very fun game. It is reflective of its time, but it has some really cool features, and it just has some cool features that helps it to really stand out, and it is simple enough to pick up and play. Even a beginner coming into playing this, which we bit tricky at first, granted, but you put a bit of time into it, you just will have a lot of fun. I found that it's definitely reflective of its time. It does put me in mind of playing old soccer games on the Sega Mega Drive and even the Super Nintendo, as some of them games were quite fun and they were able to reflect the whole atmosphere of soccer at that time, and this game does do that as well. So I think that's what's really cool about it, is the fact is that it replicates that aura, that presence that soccer had during the mid-90s, which I think is pretty cool in its own right. Like, it has some nice 2D visuals with the character sprites, and it has some really good graphics in terms of the all-round environments and surroundings of the game. All in all, it's just a cool little game I think that is worthwhile playing, and it's definitely something a wee bit different from your more typical and mainstream or even 3D soccer games also seen on the PlayStation. So I'd highly recommend, if you're looking for something a wee bit different or even something a wee bit old school and nostalgic, this is definitely a game I think that is worth trying out for sure. And I would love to know your thoughts on Namco Soccer Prime Goal for the PlayStation. If you have played this game yourself, and if so, what do you think of it? Do you enjoy these old school type of soccer games, or do you prefer more mainstream and more 3D type of soccer games that were also released on the PlayStation itself? I'd love to hear whatever stories you do have of this game, so be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated of future videos. And if you would like to see more content around other types of soccer games also released on the PlayStation, then you can check out the playlist here on screen to see more of those games in action. And as always, keep those gaming memories alive.